Previously on the Rod Pedersen Show.
The NHL has reached out to Robin Lehner to set up an interview after the Vegas Golden Knights goalie made several accusations on social media, including that teams give players drugs without a doctor's consent. In a series of tweets on Saturday, Lehner said he knows, quote, many teams that give sedatives and anxiety pills to players without a doctor's prescription. He referenced the Philadelphia Flyers and coach Alain Vigneault and claimed to have proof. In a statement Sunday, Flyers general manager Chuck Fletcher denied that allegation, saying, quote, the health and well-being of our players is our top priority, and any care provided to them comes from the team's healthcare professionals, not the coaching staff. We have no reason to believe any of our players have received improper care. In other news, the water in this pool is wet. Darren,
how about that?
I don't know. When you brought up this morning you wanted to talk about Robin Lehner, I was like, I don't know what we want to talk about here. I love Robin Lehner. I'm an advocate for mental health issues just like him. He's been very public about his. But it's like if I'm the Vegas Golden Knights, I'm disabling his Twitter account, and I'm making very strict rules for when he addresses the media, Robin Lehner. And this is coming from a Robin Lehner and Vegas Golden Knights fan, by the way. We get this all the time. Ryan Kessler went after the NHL, right, in that W5 documentary last year about this exact thing. Teams have medical personnel for a reason that have license, if you will, to dole out anti-anxiety and sedative medication to their players. How is this breaking news? That's my point, and it's why would Robin pick Saturday to go off on this?
Get ready for the Rod Pedersen Show.
But the bane of my existence in life is video replay. I'm so tired of it. Why do we have it? Everybody's mad when the call doesn't go your way. So they called interference on that onside kick, and we didn't get the ball back. They're not supposed to be able to call that. They're just supposed to be scoring. Well, you wouldn't have cared if you hadn't got the ball back. The correct call was made.
On the road with the Rod Pedersen Show.
You betcha. It's another day live from sunny Florida. Hot one today. Going to get to 91 Fahrenheit. Everybody, welcome. And it's a Panthers game day as well, by the way. Big day down here in South Florida. We got so much to get to here in the warm-up for Ecol Electric. And a big day. We're going to be talking baseball with Tim Leiper, San Francisco Giants developmental coach, and Dan Moriarty, star of NHL Cool Shots, all coming up on the program today. They'll be joining us remotely. We've got Darren Moose DuPont in the bunker. How you doing, Moose?
I'm doing well. How much gear did they give you? That's another new Florida Panthers shirt I haven't seen.
Isn't it nice? Yeah, and it's very light, by the way. I've been told that I need to cover up and get out of the sun, so I'm listening about as well as I normally do. I'm still in the sun, but I'm at least covered up, Moose. So, yeah, it's nice, and it is Panthers game day. I'm going to get to that in a moment. But Director Jordan, if you don't mind, can you hit the quick six show horn? Because I got so much to get to. I don't want to dilly-dally anymore. I do not want to dilly-dally. We're going to open up with Monday Night Football because it is Tuesday, Moose, and Justin Herbert threw for 3 touchdowns, and the LA Chargers knocked the Las Vegas Raiders from the ranks of the unbeaten with a 28-14 victory at SoFi Stadium. Austin Eckler rushed for a career-high 117 yards and scored twice for LA. Los Angeles now 3-1 for the first time since 2014. Boy, did they sneak up on everybody. I really feel like they did. And now they're part of a 3-way tie atop the division with Vegas and also the Denver Broncos. It's still very early. I saw that you posted your NFL top 5. I don't want to spend a lot of time on Monday Night Football because I want to get to hockey. And the Raiders are who we thought they were. They were down 21-0 at halftime. What's the point? Why did I stay up for this? Other than to be proved that the Chargers are legit and maybe Los Angeles is the new football capital of North America. But this is what I've decided, too, by the way, with all my new American friends, one of which is Thad. He's the manager here at the Beach House, and he's been watching the show every day. and he's said that the Canadian Football League talk loses him a little bit. But I've been flip-flopping at night, Darren, and I've been calling you too, saying, what should I talk about? And I've settled on I need to continue to be true to me and be the authentic me, and that is talk about what I want to talk about, and that is other things. So I'm opening with the NFL. What's your take on Monday Night Football? And if you want to race through your top 5, that's cool too. Yeah,
we can do that now. We can do it later. It doesn't matter. But Monday Night Football, I mean, the Chargers, you're right. They are legit. We could be looking at an all-LA Super Bowl. We really could. Both the Rams and the Chargers are both real contenders.
Can you imagine?
Yeah, I couldn't. To be there in February, but I can see it. I can see it happening. Justin Herbert's the real deal. I mean, he's an MVP candidate. Probably not a front runner, but he's a candidate for the MVP in the National Football League. And they played really well. Their defense was the biggest surprise for me, playing really well. But you can see glimpses of John Gruden's Raiders with Derek Carr. They could be there. I mean, when they came back in the second half and put those back-to-back scoring drives together, I'm like, okay, now we're seeing the Raiders that the Raider fans thought they were. And they had the third drive where he goes down the field to Ruggs. When they missed the field goal and didn't capitalize there, you knew the game was over. So the Raiders are kind of close. They're on the outside of the real Super Bowl contenders looking in. They could move in. They could stay out. But this was a statement game, I think, for the Chargers.
Yeah, they fly under the radar because they reside in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. You know what I'm saying? How did they come out of nowhere?
I know.
Anyways, enough. Moving on to point 2. National Hockey League, because they keep tailing me down here. More hockey, more hockey, more hockey. Ivan Provorov, the former Brandon Wheat King, scored in a one-timer off a pass from Travis Konechny 50 seconds into overtime to give the Philly Flyers a 2-1 win over the Boston Bruins in preseason play Monday night in the National Hockey League. Elsewhere, Jake Voracek had a goal and 2 assists to lead Columbus past Buffalo 5-3. Patrick Laine and Oliver Bjorkstrand each added a goal and an assist, and Emil Bernstrom and Boone Jenner also scored for the Jackets. Mackenzie Blackwood had 15 saves through 2 periods in New Jersey, beat Washington 4-1. Mackenzie Entwistle scored twice, and Jonathan Taves and Brandon Hagel each had 3 assists to lead Chicago past Detroit at 5-3. The Flower made 36 saves for Chicago. I'm still watching very closely, Moose, to what's going on with him. Pierre Engvall scored 2 goals, leading Toronto over Ottawa 3-1. I know that you're all over that one. Michael Armadio also scored for the Leafs, who got a 26-save performance from Jack Campbell. Kirill Kaprizov had a goal and 2 assists as Minnesota beat Colorado 3-1. Big game in Alberta. Connor McDavid and Neon Leon scored power play goals 55 seconds apart in the third as Edmonton rallied past the Flames 4-3. Calgary was up 3-0 at one point in that game. Brandon Perlini and Jesse Puljujarvi also scored for the Oilers, who have now won 2 straight in the preseason. Mikko Koskinen had 26 saves. Matthew Tkachuk, Johnny Gaudreau, and Elias Lindholm had goals for the Flames. Jacob Markstrom stopped 31 shots, and Trevor Zegras scored the only goal in a 3-round shootout to push the Anaheim Ducks past the San Jose Sharks 3-2, man. I'm telling you, watch out for the waterfowl. A duck beat a shark. How often does that happen, Moose? So that's what happened in the NHL preseason on Monday night, and I'm ready to move into the CFL, but your NHL take? What? Leafs 1, Flames blue 1, seems normal to me.
Seems pretty good. Yeah. I mean, watching the Flower do his thing, we're starting to see more of that. It's exciting. It's exciting. And, hey, when the Ducks, what do they say? When the Ducks fly together, right, you can't beat them. So, Ducks over the Sharks. We'll take it.
Gotcha. I guess I don't need to race. I mean, I can get all these things into 2 segments here for the warm-up for Ecold Electric, but I do want to talk about the CFL. I love the CFL. I'm not sure that it's reciprocated, but that's okay. The Saskatchewan Roughriders signed free agent receiver Duke Williams on Monday. Everybody's talking about it, and I have a little intel on this signing, by the way. Not that it's a major thing, but the 6'3", and you people in America are going to find this interesting. Those that say, you lose me with the CFL talk. Well, just stay tuned. Here, the 6'3", 225-pound Duke Williams returns to the CFL after spending significant time with the NFL's Buffalo Bills. He began his career in Canada with Edmonton in 2017, played 2 seasons north of the border. Then he signed with the Bills in January of 2019. He's appeared in 5 games with Buffalo, registering 12 catches for 166 yards and a touchdown. You know, now that I look at that, that's not significant time in Buffalo, but he's still a CFL star. He's 28 years of age. He's from L.A., and in Edmonton, he had 15 touchdowns, 2,294 yards in 2 seasons in Edmonton. He could barely get onto the field in Buffalo. He's still a big deal. And the intel that I have, Moose, is that everybody's saying, oh, Cody Fajardo, Saskatchewan's quarterback, came out and called out the team management, saying they don't have enough playmakers in the receiving room and the receiving corps, so they went out and signed Duke Williams. Well, from what I know, and I think you do too, because we knew this late last week, that the Riders have been talking to Duke Williams for long before Saturday's game in Calgary, which Saskatchewan lost. So this is not rallying because Cody Fajardo whined, to use other people's terms, not mine, to sign him. Still a big signing for the Rough Riders, though.
No, it is. It's a really big signing. And you're right. This isn't Jeremy O'Day panicking because his quarterback got upset and made some comments. This isn't a reactionary move. This is one that they had been looking at for a while, and there was a couple other teams interested as Duke Williams took the weekend to make his decision. But it kind of creates, okay, what are the Riders going to do now? You know, where do they open up some money? What's the next move? Does this make a guy like Jordan Williams-Lambert, who's underperformed, somebody that, you know, is open to being released now as a result? I don't know what they're going to do, but that's something that's been talked about. But Duke Williams gives them that threat. Big body receiver that usually wins those 50-50 balls. So the Riders are a better team today than they were yesterday.
What did I say? 6'2", 220-ish. He's everything that you want. And and by the way, this has just popped into my mind. Lots of time left here in this segment for E-Cold Electric, the warm-up. But I was talking to John Lynch yesterday. John Frenzy, the Don Cherry of football, the Hall of Fame Saskatchewan Roughriders broadcaster. And he said, you ever coming back from Florida? I said, I don't know. Maybe not, John. Why Florida? Why'd you go to Florida? And I said, have you ever been to Florida? Did I tell you what he said? He goes, yes, I have. Forget that I asked that question. Have fun.
It's what you always say, right? That I just got to come down there. I've never been to Florida. It's one place I've never been. And you said once you come here, you won't want to leave.
No, and that's exactly it. And I'm getting to, I think I'm probably going to fly through this, and then we'll revisit it in Block 2. I've just got so many things that I want to talk about here today, and one of which is the Florida Panthers tonight playing the Tampa Bay Lightning in Orlando. The hockey people here were saying, are you going to Orlando? And I'm like, man, would I love to go to Orlando. 3.5-hour road trip, though. I think I'm good. I'll just watch it on Bally Sports Florida. Point 4. Oh, and by the way, here's another thing about Florida. My phone, you know when your iPhone gets so hot that it shuts down?
Yep.
Have you had that happen?
Yes.
I'm there. I have officially reached that point. You know how hot it is in Florida? It's iPhone shutting down temperature hot in Florida. So I've had to hide it here in the shade. You tell me, Clark, when we got to roll because my phone's it's overheated. Blue Jays. I've had all I can take. And you had the reaction from people on social media, too, so you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Of course.
And that is people saying, you two are too harsh on the Toronto Blue Jays. They had a great season. It's my commentary today, which airs on Cat Country 98 FM and Rock 98.5 FM. And it is, I can't take it anymore. Is this how soft we've become as a society? They missed the playoffs. I don't care that they led the majors in home runs. I don't care that they set a franchise record for home runs. I don't care that Robbie Ray is in the Cy Young conversation. And I don't care that Vladdy had an MVP season. They didn't do enough collectively to get into the playoffs. And it's the phrase that I was brought up with my dad, that's good enough. When I said that to my dad one day when we were building corrals at the farm, that's good enough, Dad. My dad whipped his hammer into the dirt, the claws first. His eyes snapped, rolled in the back of his head. Lost his mind. And he's like, strike the term good enough from your vocabulary. I don't ever want to hear you use it again. Do your best 100% of the time. And if you fail after doing your best, then that's fine. You got no regrets. I don't think the Toronto Blue Jays can say that. Did they have their best season? We know for a fact they did not. So all those things where people are saying what I just rattled off, all those are their excuses, not mine. Ricky Bobby. If you're not first, you're last. And I'm not saying you got to be the Tampa Bay Rays because they got a hell of a baseball team. Toronto had 91 wins. That's pretty damn good. But you know what? It wasn't good enough.
Yeah.
So I'm tired of people blowing back at us with their opinion. This is ours. If you don't like it, unfollow us. Don't watch. But don't tell me I don't know what I'm talking about, because I watched this Blue Jays team all year long, and I saw them blow it. I saw them disappear for 10 days in August. If you're okay with that as Blue Jays fans, then that's your problem. I'm not okay with that. I'm tired of the pushback.
You can look at
Where are you on this?
You can look at a lot of good things that happened this year. The runs, the home runs, the individual performances, Robbie Ray, all of that. You can look at the win totals. But at the end of the day, it's not good enough. It's not good enough. And
not good enough.
I said yesterday, the window in baseball, especially for Toronto, in that tough division is so small that, they just missed out on an opportunity this year where they were legitimate World Series contenders. Right, we saw that in the back half of the season. They were legitimate World Series contenders. They won't get a shot at it. And I look at two other big fan bases in this country, the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Were you happy when they hit the goalpost and missed out on going to the Grey Cup? Because they had a good team.
They were close, Darren. They were close.
Cody Fajardo put up some really good numbers. There's a lot to be happy about. What about the Toronto Maple Leafs, who led the division, got home ice advantage? Austin Matthews put up good numbers. William Nylander, Mitch Marner, they put up great numbers, great season. No, it's a disappointment because they failed to meet expectations. And maybe the expectation going into the Jays season wasn't as high as we said it, but once we saw them in action, those expectations rose, and we said, look, this is a World Series caliber team, and they missed the playoffs. So I'm optimistic as all hell to get, for the next year, because they're going to continue to get better. And this young group, we should be really excited. But this season was a disappointment.
And that's the poll question, by the way. And
how about that?
I'm trying to. Well, listen. If you're happy with the Blue Jays season, not you, everybody else, then you're soft. You're soft, okay? And don't get in my face and tell me that I don't know what I'm talking about, because I do know what I'm talking about. They're better. They should be in the playoffs. One of them should be playing tonight in the American League wildcard game. They should be playing against either Boston or New York, probably against the Yankees. By the way, so that's the poll question today. How do you feel about the Blue Jays season? Amazing, average, or disappointing? And I think, 53% say amazing. 53% of you are soft as baby poo. That's what I'm going to say. And you know who I'm talking about, too. Anyways, the warm-up's brought to you by Ecol Electric. Our annual fall promotion sale is on now with special pricing on hundreds of in-stock items. Ecol Electric, let's get to work. Said it yesterday, I'll say it again. You show me a good loser, I will show you a loser. Anyways, I got more points to get to, Moose, okay?
Yeah.
We'll come back right after the break. We're live from the beautiful beach house in Pompano Beach, Florida. You are watching the RP Show on Game Plus TV. Today, YouTube Live, no Facebook, and 24-hour sports radio at rodpedersen.com.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
In the heat of the summer, familiar sounds, feeling the air, it's the best thing anywhere. Just give me back my game. 'Cause I live for the drama, I live for the emotion. No one can take me down, bring me back my football.
BetRegal.net, exclusive sports gaming partner of the CFL.
At Core Grain, we strive to be the most qualified grain storage and grain conditioning experts in Canada. Visit us today at coregrain.ca. Core Grain, doing the right thing for your farm.
Capital is Regina's trusted GMC Buick Cadillac dealership. Whether you're on the market for a new or certified pre-owned vehicle, we got you covered. And when it's time for service work, you can trust our factory-trained technicians who specialize in repairing any make or model. But don't take our word for it. Check out capitalgmc.ca to see how we roll and to learn what other customers are saying about working with us. Your dealership experience should be fun, easy, and transparent. And that's exactly what you'll get when you choose Capital GMC, Regina's trusted GMC Buick Cadillac dealership. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll treat you right.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
Direct West has been the bridge for me from not dealing with social media or digital presence to having a presence. You have to take the leap of faith, so to say, and I'm glad we have. Direct West has helped us out immensely to get our presence online as far as digitally and also with the social media page. To see the results is just puts a smile on your face.
Comfort has always been something we, as people, strive for. It means that the places we live and work, and that the people we care most about, are able to go about their lives, focusing on the things that matter. Our focus at FlameTech has remained the same for more than 20 years. Now more than ever, we need each other to support our local businesses. As an industry leader in combustion services, we are proud to attend to the needs of our communities and support the local economy.
Prairie Mobile is your SaskTel authorized dealer. Whether you're looking for talk, text, or data, shared, unlimited, or business plans, Prairie Mobile will help you find the SaskTel wireless plan that's right for you. Visit us online at prairiemobile.com.
Hey Rod Squad, now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to rodpedersenshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show, official RP Show gear at rodpedersenshop.com.
There you are. They're just down the street. That's where we are. Beautiful Pompano Beach, Florida. We are in the beach house. I'm just getting everything ready to roll here. Oh, there's just so much going on. And I called Moose yesterday after the show for our little post-show meeting. And I said, I don't feel like we accomplished very much yesterday or on the show on Monday because there's just so much going on.
Yeah.
And I don't know who this is. I'm not going to read the troll comments. They're wondering why I'm ranting when I'm in such a beautiful locale. I'm just tired of being told that I don't know what I'm talking about. It's one thing to have opinions. I'm okay with everybody's opinion. Just get out of my ass when it comes to mine. That's all. And anyways, moving on. Not like this is a bad thing at all, Darren, but I got so much going on here. The sun's just about to come behind this canopy, and then I will be not dying of heat stroke. Moving on, my next point is number 5. It's for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. They issued a statement regarding receiver Kenny Lawler. And here's a statement from the CFL's Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Their star wide receiver, by the way, who had 2 touchdowns on Friday Night Football in BC. Kenny informed the team today of his arrest for operating a motor vehicle while impaired early this morning. Upon further investigation, the club has suspended Kenny for Friday's game and has reported the incident to the league office. We take this incident very seriously and have spoken at length with Kenny throughout the day. Kenny recognizes the seriousness of the situation and that this type of behavior is unacceptable and inexcusable. He has agreed to seek assistance as it relates to alcohol abuse and has cooperated fully with police on the matter. From everything I hear about Kenny the King Lawler, he's a tremendous kid, obviously a great football player. That sucks for him. We could sit here every day and talk about people that are on the right or wrong side of the law. Kenny Lawler made a mistake. I don't think he has a history of this. And it's interesting that there's that. And as I was driving to Pompano Beach House today, Darren, I was listening to WQAM, South Florida's sports superstation, 560 AM, all over Urban Meyer. Like, people got to understand, if you haven't been to Florida, they love football like Canadians love hockey, but times 10. So for Urban Meyer to be the coach just up the coast here in Jacksonville, how much fun do you think they're having with Urban Meyer, the coach of the Jaguars, being caught in a bar with some young girl grinding his lap? Like, and I guess my point on all that, the host on the radio this morning here in Miami was saying, I don't like to talk about people's personal issues, but and went on for like 10 minutes on it. I'm like, well, why are you talking about it then? So I guess Kenny Lawler's just the latest guy that slipped up. And I say, God help any of the sanctimonious bastards that come down on people for making a mistake in life, particularly when it's a first-time offense. So where are you today on Kenny Lawler facing the music and Urban Meyer continuing to face the music, which, by the way, they face your Titans this week. You got to be the happiest guy in the world because all the meetings that are going on behind closed doors with the Jaguars pertain with Urban Meyer being boozed up in Columbus with a girl gyrating in his lap, and they're not getting ready for the Tennessee Titans this weekend.
Yeah, I wish that were the case. They're getting ready for the Titans. You just know that they are. But this distraction is hanging over their heads. And now you got players that are sitting there when Urban Meyer is trying to, come down on them and keep them on the straight and narrow and avoid distraction and football. And it's a double standard now because he clearly isn't. But it's a one-time thing. And with Kenny Lawler, too, like, again, the people that we talk to, I mean, I don't know Kenny Lawler, so I don't know what kind of a guy he is. Never met him. But look, we make mistakes. We make mistakes. Pro athletes make mistakes. It's, again, we talk about this all the time. And we don't say, hey, everybody's got a free pass to make mistakes. So go do whatever you want. You got one for free. We're not condoning that. But I think the team's handling it really well. They came out internally with an internal suspension. They informed the league that this happened. They're handling it. And we're going to move forward. So when we do something that breaks the rules or the law or isn't right or a code of conduct, you face the punishment, you rehabilitate, you learn from it, and you come back better. So he's going to do the time. It doesn't matter if you got a big football game this week, and he'll do the time. He'll come back. He'll be fine. Put it in the rearview mirror, and we move on.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing is, because I've done it so many times, I'm not sitting here at the pulpit looking down on these guys or anybody because God knows I was the worst offender. Never had a DUI. Should have had 1 million. Just thank God I didn't. But when you do screw up, you got to face the music, pay the piper, fall on your sword, as I say it, and move on. And that's what Kenny Lawler's doing. And I just hope that he doesn't have to pay for this forever. And thank God he appears to be the only one hurt by this mistake that he made. By the way, now would be a good time to talk about the Aurora Recovery Center for a second. Addiction, it destroys relationships, families, and lives. But the good news is that addiction is a treatable illness. At Aurora Recovery Center, we provide everything you need to build a solid foundation for your recovery with holistic, evidence-based treatment tailored to each individual. Located in Gimli, Manitoba, on the shores of beautiful Lake Winnipeg, Aurora can help regardless of whether or not you feel ready or have tried before. Aurora Recovery Center, Recovery for Life. Visit their website for more information at aurorarecoverycenter.com. I've been there. It's beautiful. It's not as beautiful as this, but it's pretty beautiful. My next point, Moose, as we move on, and I feel a lot more settled today than I did yesterday. I just felt we were too all over the place yesterday. I let too many people get into my head. And here we are a little more focused today.
Yeah.
And I will get to these comments in a second, but it's just about you and me right now. We got a lot of time left here in Block 2 before we bring in Tim Leiper of the San Francisco Giants. But I just want to talk about the Florida Panthers tonight against the Tampa Bay Lightning. I don't know what other games there are in the NHL. And there are people that are saying, there's a lot of NHL scouts that are writing me going, oh yeah, big Panthers fan now, eh? And I said, no, the Vegas Golden Knights are still my number one team. But here's the thing that you need to know, and I'm not sure if we told this story on the air or not. I know we talked about it. I just can't remember if it was on the phone or on the air. But the Vegas Golden Knights are not suffering from media coverage. They are not. Last time I was there, I asked for a seat in the press box, and Gary Lawler, so the Golden Knights, is like, you're not getting in the press. No, there's no room in there. It's like over 100 media. Here, there's acres of empty seats at Florida Panthers games. I've been there. I don't know if that's going to change in the regular season or not, but it shouldn't. Like, we've talked about the importance of the preseason. And the roster came out this morning. I got the roster emailed to me by the Panthers, and I saw Joe Thornton on the roster, number 19 for the Florida Panthers. What number did he wear for the Leafs last year? Darren, do you remember
97,
that?
I think.
Memorable?
97? Yeah.
Was it?
That was 97 was
ballsy of him.
He had worn that in the Olympics when Joe Sakic, I think, was 19, or Steve Yzerman. That's how long Joe Thornton's been around the game. So 97 was his alternate number. 19 would be his number preferred.
Right. So I guess that's my point, is the difference between the Florida Panthers versus the Vegas Golden Knights. And the Arizona Coyotes, forget it. Like, literally forget it. I tried to do this with them. They weren't interested. But so many people have said to me, you know, why, like Lynch on the phone yesterday, John Lynch, why Florida? Have you ever been here? And how did you make this happen? I said, I called up the teams and said, I'm bringing my show to South Florida. What can we do together? And the teams literally rolled out the red carpet. Florida, like, I can tell you this right now, I'm coming back, like, before long, because the Florida Panthers have accredited me for the entire season. And it's very hard for Canadian. And Clark has told me that Tim Leiper is watching right now. He's an honorary Canadian. He coached the Blue Jays first base for many years. It's very hard, I think, for Canadian NHL fans to realize that a team like the Florida Panthers might struggle for media attention, or for that matter, any U.S.-based hockey team, because in Canada, my God, the teams are literally up there next to God. Like the VP of communications for the Panthers, we had a very long meeting the other night in the press box at FLA Live Arena, and she's like, how do you get treated by Canadian NHL teams? I said, largely big-timed. And she kind of laughed. She said, well, we're not going to do that. You know, and I can't tell you how great it's been. And then I didn't get into this, but she said, you got to meet Randy Moeller. He's our head of the Alumni Association. I'm like, well, where's Randy? She goes, he's sitting right behind you. Let's go meet him. So it was unbelievable, Moose. So anyways, I guess it would be hard for Canadian NHL fans to realize that some teams in America would struggle for media coverage when it's the National Hockey League. Would that surprise you?
Yeah, no, it doesn't surprise me because I know, but the fans, yeah, like, I get it. You know, there's so much coverage, and it shouldn't be an issue, and it's professional sports, and a good team in Florida they're going to have as well. But no, I get that, and the game with Tampa, I mean, to me, this is a budding rivalry, and could be one of the best rivalries in the game. Coming off that great playoff series, moving forward, this is, you know, one of the great matchups in the National Hockey League right now, and I'll look forward to every time the Lightning and Panthers play this year.
Well, and by the way, I've been picking up and listening to clues. It was in the Miami Herald the other day that with the Panthers, with this solid team, and people kind of, it gets camouflaged that they lost out to Tampa Bay in Game 6 of a first-round series last year, the eventual Stanley Cup champions. This is a very good team that Florida lost out to last year. They're like, the Dolphins suck, the Marlins suck, the Heat aren't what they used to be. So they said the Panthers are hoping to take center stage here in Florida with a great team because they haven't won a playoff series since 1996, the vaunted team, which everybody forgets. Yeah, they made it to the Stanley Cup final, and they had the Rats and Scott Mellenby and blah, 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 blah. They still didn't win a game. So what I keep hearing from the Florida media and Florida hockey people is that the team is struggling for attention. And I'm thinking, well, we can give them that. And Game Plus is carried on the TDS cable carrier here all across Florida. So that's why I think it's been a perfect match. Before we break, I'm going to read a couple of comments here, Moose, from Rob Somerville. Says Florida Panthers have always had issues with attendance since their entry into the league. Once October, November rolls around, the Snowbirds are the only ones attending games. Well, that situation's about to change, I guarantee it. Slapshot line. Regarding the Blue Bombers, James Zylstra says, Rod, are you moving to Florida, man? Just watch and enjoy the show. You'll find out in due time. Rob goes on to say the Lawler suspension was absolutely handled correctly by the Blue Bombers. Good on Lawler for seeking out the help for the situation. Naaman Roosevelt will definitely be a good replacement for him.
I read that.
Scott Powell watching in North Carolina. Yeah, go ahead.
I read that on the board, and I'm like, Gary Lawless got suspended? What did he do?
You saw the same thing.
And then I read it. It was Lawler, so yeah.
Scott Powell watching in North Carolina says, I agree. They're humans. They should be judged as so. Heck, a coach getting a lap dance has nothing to do with X's and O's of football. Well, of course. Injecting some common sense here. Now, Urban Meyer's wife, grandkids may feel differently. But who the hell are we to judge? That's between them. Anyways, we got Tim Leiper loaded up and ready to roll. Anything else, Moose, before we let you go and bring you back?
It was a recruiting visit, okay? It was a recruiting visit. Her son is a great quarterback.
Urban Meyers.
Wait a second. We don't recruit in the NFL anymore? Okay.
That's funny. Well, if you look at the Jaguars' record, maybe not. From the General in Calgary says the Lightning probably suck all of Florida's attention, leaving none for the Panthers. Again, that's about to change. Panthers and Lightning meeting tonight at not Amalie Arena, Amway Arena in beautiful Orlando, Florida. Okay, Moose, we'll see you in a bit.
You bet.
Tim Leiper of the San Francisco Giants, the NL West pennant-winning San Francisco Giants, joins us next. You're watching the RP Show live from the Pompano Beach Beach House in South Florida on the Game Plus TV network, YouTube Live, and 24-hour sports radio at rodpedersen.com.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
Some of the challenges we face with the CT technology that we have today is some of the deficiencies in around integration with some of our other systems. The addition of 2 new 4D simulators within the programming at the Saskatchewan Cancer Agency is going to have significant impact on the care we provide to the people of Saskatchewan.
Don't rack your brain trying to source the equipment and materials you need for your business. Rockstar can operate your entire supply chain, from PO creation to expediting your shipments, all from our office. Leverage the buying power of the Rockstar buying group to not only save money and time, but also the headache. From gloves to glue, we can provide it for you. Find out more at rockstar.com.
People donate blood for moments like this.
But there are lots of reasons why Canada's Lifeline needs donors every day.
Like the fact that someone with leukemia can need up to 8 units of blood a week.
Or that donated blood lasts no longer than 42 days.
Or to help new moms and babies, like Henry.
There's lots of reasons to donate blood. That's why we need donors every day.
The need for blood is constant. Join Toyota and our Toyota dealers in supporting Canada's Lifeline.
Smoky in the air, that's a lot of pine. Big time, big time, big time, big time.
Capital is Regina's trusted Ford Lincoln dealership. Whether you're on the market for a new or pre-owned vehicle, we got you covered. And when it's time for service work, you can trust our factory-trained technicians who specialize in repairing any make or model. But don't take our word for it. Check out capitalfordlincoln.com to see how we roll and to learn about what other customers are saying about working with us. Your dealership experience should be fun, easy, and transparent. And that's what you get when you choose Capital Ford Lincoln, Regina's trusted Ford Lincoln dealership.
Comfort has always been something we, as people, strive for. It means that the places we live and work, and that the people we care most about, are able to go about their lives, focusing on the things that matter. Our focus at FlameTech has remained the same for more than 20 years. Now more than ever, we need each other to support our local businesses. As an industry leader in combustion services, we are proud to attend to the needs of our communities and support the local economy.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
RP Show continues from beautiful South Florida. That's Robbie's down in the Florida Keys. You may recognize that from a few scenes from Bloodline, very popular Netflix series. Major League Baseball playoffs get rolling. The American League wild card game will feature Boston versus the New York Yankees. In the NL, it's the Dodgers against the Cardinals on Wednesday with the right to go up against this guy, San Francisco Giants. Tim Leiper joins us. The last time we joined Tim, or he joined us, was he was in Scottsdale, Arizona, working out those Giants prospects. How you doing, Timbo?
I'm doing great. I'm not in Scottsdale, Arizona anymore, but I'm also not in sunny Florida. But we do have beautiful fall Muskoka colors right now, so it's perfect.
Good to hear from you. Always good to see your smiling face, my friend. And listen, can I say congratulations on a franchise record, 107 wins and the NL West pennant? I mean, what a season for the Giants.
Well, it's been absolutely crazy. I mean, it's one of those dream seasons that, like, everything that could go right did go right. I mean, they prepared for it. You know, they're doing things a little bit differently than other teams are doing it. You got buy-in from everybody. You got great production from older players, and all the magical things that happen in the course of having to win 107 games, because that's almost nearly impossible to do, especially in this day and age. It's been magical, and hopefully it continues into the playoffs. It'll be great. It's been great to watch all year. It should be fun to watch in the postseason too.
Well, by the way, Tim, we got a lot of new viewers since I've been down here in South Florida. They've been checking it out. So a lot of our recurring guests are new to the folks that are watching our show here. Tim was the first base coach for many years with the Toronto Blue Jays when they put up pennants in the Rogers Center 2015 and 2016. And listen, I thought of you when the Giants clinched on Sunday because I know how good it feels, right? Can you tell our viewers what your role is with the San Francisco Giants, by the way? Because this was year one, correct?
This is year 2, but COVID year doesn't really count. So unless you count Zoom calls, which we were all tired of. But it was great. But I'm the outfield and base running coordinator for their minor league system. So that's my job.
Right. So when they got the pennant, I was like, yes, for Tim, because you must have been feeling the exact same way. When you join a club like that, it's just nice to have success right away. Pretty much ensures job security for everybody.
It also in the big leagues, when you win in the big leagues, it takes all the pressure off the minor league guys, because they think they all did a great job. But it's such a great feeling, and to be a part of something that's winning, and it is. I hate to use the C word, but it is a culture. You know, we all feel in the minor leagues. We pull for these guys every day. We have relationships with them. I mean, it's awesome to see. I can remember going through it, and obviously with the Blue Jays back in 2015. I can remember that night that we wrapped it up, and it was cold. It was raining. We played it. It was a doubleheader. We wrapped it up during the first game of the doubleheader. The coolest thing, it was Alex Anthopoulos, it was Tony LaCava, it was Perry Manassian, all these guys sitting in the stands, and it was all Blue Jay fans, and the people congratulating them. And it was such a feeling at that time, being on the field and having our front office sitting right behind us. Like, we were all in this together. We went through it together, and now we're reaping the benefits of it. It was, the feeling of it is so special. I've been in this game every day of my life, but that was a feeling that I never experienced before. But it was such a cool feeling of togetherness with everybody. And even though you're in the minor leagues with the Giants and you're not there physically to see it, you still kind of feel that same sense of family and camaraderie. And you're just proud when you work for something that's really good, like all the people that work on your show. It's just such a great feeling.
Absolutely. It's a team effort, of course, and that's why I thought of you immediately. So I'll say congratulations again, and I'm glad that it does feel good. Now, let me ask you this. I make no mistake or bones about the fact that I'm a hockey guy and a football guy. I think I spent 37 years combined between the two leagues I was in. I am that old, Tim. But 107 wins, we might say in those leagues, did you empty the tank in the regular season? Or is that not a thing in baseball, man? It's 107 wins out of 162 games. It's almost like, well, how much do you have left for the playoffs? Is that a thing in baseball?
It's a thing in baseball, but it's definitely not a thing with us. I mean, we battled injuries all year. I mean, everybody was down. One thing we really went on is load management. I mean, Buster Posey was hot as could be, but we never rode him out and didn't play him every single day. And then his results as a result of that, like really were good. We had pitching injuries all year. It was the constant. It's the way we run our team. We kind of turn the game upside down in terms of like trying to get matchups and trying to win games early and trying to do those things that you usually wait till the 7th, 8th, or 9th inning to do. You know, the one thing the Giants done is do it early in the game. So it's really kind of interesting. And we were able to like survive downtime from Alex Wood, Kevin Gausman. You know, Webb was down for a while. I'm sorry, Jake McGee was down for a while. It's just been great. So it's been a total team effort. It's been a total organization effort because not only did they use the 26 guys in the big leagues, they really used their AAA team. They rotated guys in and out. And I think the one thing they do more religiously than anybody is look for matchups as early as you possibly can. A lot of people shake their heads at it, but you can't argue with the success they've had this year. I mean, one thing that's kind of a byproduct of all this is the players always feel like they're everyday players. I mean, they may start 2-3 days a week. There's no really true bench play here. There's guys that play. So the result of that, or the kind of the byproduct is that, like we set a major league record for pinch hit home runs, but it's not from guys that sit for a week straight and then come in and hit off their closer. It's for guys that would probably start 2 or 3 days a week, and then they come in and they feel like they're an everyday player and they're in a groove with their swing. So when they have these pinch hits, it doesn't seem real foreign to them. It's been pretty fascinating to watch, and it really changes the way you think about things.
So you don't know who your opponent will be. As I said off the top here, you'll play the winner of the Dodgers-Cardinals meeting. You know them very well. You know the Dodgers better because you've been battling them all year to win that pennant. Would they finish with 106 wins too, right? Like a dumb question would be, who do you want to face? What's it going to be like sitting in that game Wednesday night? Wednesday night.
It's I don't think it matters who you play. I mean, again, we won the season with the season series with the Dodgers. It's a playoff, so you just have to play well. You have to take care of business. The fact that it's a best of 5 is really scary. I really love the best of 7 more than the best of 5 because some fluky things can happen. But I think, you know, we played probably in probably the second best division of baseball, because if you look at the American League East and having 4 teams in the playoff hunt and 4 teams with 90 wins. The East is a beast, but even with the Padres, who had a really down year, came in with high expectations, it's a super competitive division. I mean, the only team that was really not great was the Diamondbacks, and even the Rockies that take a lot of heat for how bad they were, and they went through a GM change this year. You know, they were a really good team, especially at home. So I think they're prepared for everything. They've been battle tested. I mean, no one expected them to win the season series against the Dodgers. Nobody expected them to even make the playoffs, let alone win a record-breaking number of wins in the regular season. So I think they're ready. I mean, this team is like one of those teams of destiny where great things have happened to them all year, and I hope it continues in the playoffs.
Hey, lastly, Tim Leiper, because you spent so many years with the Blue Jays, can you settle an argument for us? I say the Blue Jays season's disappointing because it went down to the final day. They blew a lot of games. I'm sure all teams feel that they blew some games. How should the Blue Jays and their fans feel about this 2021 season?
It's funny you say that because you always see it from the one lens, right? Hey, they blew some games. You never put into account that the other games that the teams just gave you because they stunk too. That never factors into that statement. So it's a great season. The thing that for me is like they had a chance. Obviously those games that were early when the bullpen was a mess, and then even late when they really didn't go after bullpen help. The thing that scares me a little bit is the fact that windows are really small in this game. You got a CBA coming up, and you don't know what's going to happen for next year. But when you have a team that's historically as good as this team was offensively, and not to be able to get into the tournament at the end of the year, that's tough because there's no guarantee that that's going to turn over into the next year. But to see the core of guys that you do have here, that's always going to be exciting. I think obviously the Marcus Semien situation is going to be a giant one. Like this guy came in and I said it the other day, he was like a unicorn's unicorn. I mean, he's such a great player. He plays every single day. He's such a mentor to guys in the clubhouse, and his presence is worth so many wins ever. Now, we had David Price, we only had David Price for a month, and he wasn't with us the next year. But I also know there was a hangover effect that like what he brought to our club kind of stayed with us into the next year. If they don't get Semien back, which I'm not saying, I mean, they have just as good a chance as anyone to get him back. Does his presence still stay there even though he's not there? But that's a big one. I just say it was a good year. It was a fun year. You should be proud of the guys that played here. A lot of these guys came up through the organization. They're great guys. They had a lot of adversity playing in 3 different places. So it's kind of two things. Like man, it stinks that you didn't get there, but also you should be really proud of what they did. And one thing about all this, they show how much they love the city. The players show how much they love the city, show how much they love Canada. And as you go into next season, there's every reason in the world to be optimistic and be hopeful and be excited about what they're going to do.
Hey, wonderful answer. And Tim, because the Jays are out, I don't really have a rooting interest, so it'll be the Giants for you. So good luck, man. I'll be pulling for the Giants, and I appreciate the time as always, buddy.
We need all the fans in Florida that we can possibly get. That's awesome.
Yeah, exactly. Thanks, Tim. All right, enjoy the ball. Tim Leiper joining
Take care.
us,
Great talking to you guys.
San Francisco Giants. The great Tim Leiper joining us, longtime Blue Jays first base coach, now the San Francisco Giants. We'll take a timeout, bring the Moose back in, get to a sports update today on this Tuesday. We're live from the Beach House in Pompano Beach, Florida. You're watching on Game Plus TV, YouTube Live, and 24-hour sports radio at rodpedersen.com.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition, and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Rough Riders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina.
Smoky in the air, that's a lot of pine. Big time, big time, big time, big time.
Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services, and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll treat you right.
Legend throws 713 yards in a single pro football game.
A legend wins 3 Grey Cup MVP awards.
Allen looking deep.
A legend scores 1,209 points in 1,127 NHL games. Play among legends at betregal.net.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. DDG, always delivering the best fan experience.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
Safety is a primary pillar at Core Green. We have core certification. Our workers are following best practices in the industry for safety. We always want to make sure that our contractors, us here at the shop, and our customers can come to work and go home at the end of every day. Give Core Green Systems a call today.
Hey Rod Squad, now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to rodpedersenshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show, official RP Show gear at rodpedersenshop.com.
Another beautiful day in sunny South Florida. RP Show continues. We're into the final segment of hour one. And before we bring the Moose back, I'm going to read you a sports update. Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl each had a power play goal in the third period as the Edmonton Oilers rallied past the Calgary Flames 4-3 on Monday night. Calgary had built a 3-0 lead before the Oilers' offense came alive. Earlier, Pierre Engvall scored 2 goals to lead over the Ottawa Senators 3-1. The Leafs play their second straight preseason game tonight as they host the Montreal Canadiens. Leafs head coach Sheldon Keefe said defensemen Jake Muzzin and Travis Dermott were day-to-day and may crack the lineup for tonight's tilt. Later, the Vancouver Canucks host the expansion Seattle Kraken. And, of course, at Amway Arena in Orlando, Florida, it's the Florida Panthers up against the Tampa Bay Lightning. That is the game of the night. Da-da-dun, da-da-dun. The Anaheim Ducks have assigned goaltender Gage Alexander to the Winnipeg Ice. Alexander, selected in the 5th round, 148th overall in the 2021 NHL draft by the Ducks, took part in their training camp this year. He's from Okotoks, Alberta, and completed his second season with the Ice last year in the COVID-shortened WHL campaign. One of baseball's oldest rivalries will be renewed in tonight's American League wildcard game. Garrett Cole gets the start for the New York Yankees against the Boston Red Sox in the one-and-done playoff. Nathan Eovaldi will take to the mound for Boston. The winner advances to the American League Division Series, and they'll face Tampa. And Monday night was the first full night of NBA preseason action, with the Raptors playing in Scotiabank Arena for the first time since February 28th, 2020. They beat the 76ers 123-107. This sports update for Ballers Rec Room. Check out our brand new line of games. Book your group or business Christmas party now for the Tap Brewhouse and Drive-Thru Liquor Store, and for Red Bull Canada. Red Bull gives you wings. That leaves you about 45 seconds. Moose, I'm going to ask you this. Who are you pulling for, if anybody, in the Major League Baseball playoffs since the Jays are done?
Oh, boy. Nobody. We'll watch the games. And I know when I start watching the games, excuse me, then I'll start pulling for somebody. But I don't have a team right now. I'm still kind of like disappointed in the Jays. So don't have a team.
Well, cheer for the San Francisco Giants and Tim Leiper. But I'm glad that you're with me. We agree on something, that it was a disappointing season for the Blue Jays. We'll pick that apart a little more coming up next hour. I think Tim Leiper agrees with us. Hour 2 straight ahead here on Game Plus Television Network.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Prairie Mobile is your SaskTel authorized dealer. Whether you're looking for talk, text, or data, shared, unlimited, or business plans, Prairie Mobile will help you find the SaskTel wireless plan that's right for you. Visit us online at prairiemobile.com.
At Core Grain, we strive to be the most qualified grain storage and grain conditioning experts in Canada. Visit us today at coregrain.ca. Core Grain, doing the right thing for your farm.
Don't rack your brain trying to source the equipment and materials you need for your business. Rockstar can operate your entire supply chain, from PO creation to expediting your shipments, all from our office. Leverage the buying power of the Rockstar buying group to not only save money and time, but also the headache. From gloves to glue, we can provide it for you. Find out more at rockstar.com.
Some of the challenges we face with the CT technology that we have today is some of the deficiencies in around integration with some of our other systems. The addition of 2 new 4D simulators within the programming at the Saskatchewan Cancer Agency is going to have significant impact on the care we provide to the people of Saskatchewan.
Direct West provides us with stats and analytics, and it's amazing for us to look and see that each year we're 10 to 20% higher on our Google leads. It's great to see the success that our locations are having. The Direct West app gives us an opportunity to be in one place for people to find any of our locations or our commodities. Without Direct West, we would have to be in multiple digital places. I would recommend Direct West. They're great to work with.
People donate blood for moments like this.
But there are lots of reasons why Canada's Lifeline needs donors every day.
Like the fact that someone with leukemia can need up to 8 units of blood a week.
Or that donated blood lasts no longer than 42 days.
Or to help new moms and babies, like Henry.
There's lots of reasons to donate blood. That's why we need donors every day.
The need for blood is constant. Join Toyota and our Toyota dealers in supporting Canada's Lifeline.
Bronco Plumbing, Heating and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating and Cooling. We'll treat you right.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
But the bane of my existence in life is video replay. I'm so tired of it. Why do we have it? Everybody's mad when the call doesn't go your way. So they called interference on that onside kick, and we didn't get the ball back. They're not supposed to be able to call that. They're just supposed to be scoring. Well, you wouldn't have cared if you hadn't got the ball back. The correct call was made.
On the road with the Rod Pedersen Show.
That's a fact. We are in beautiful and sunny South Florida for another day. It's episode number 585 of Canada's daytime sports talk show. And we're broadcasting from the Beach House in Pompano Beach, Florida. If you are in the area, come on down to the Beach House and say hey. And I wish, as we bring the Moose back in here, I wish we had a camera just in the break. Cassidy just came by, Moose. She was standing right here on the edge of the railing, and she's like, "Can I get you something else, Mr. Pedersen?" And I'm like, I'm good, Cassidy, but thank you. I cannot tell you how great they've been treating us. Oh, it's unbelievable. And she's the one that had the 11-11 tattoo on the back of her arm. I know you saw it on my Instagram story there.
Yeah.
And most importantly, as we're brought to you by Core Grain here, how are you doing with talking about South? How's everything there in the bunker and with what you got going on? You seem like a really busy guy these days.
You know what? It's okay. It's okay. You saw I had my Cocoa Beach mug out last night, just kind of pretending I was in Florida for a little bit. having my coffee in the afternoon. I'm coping, okay? I'm coping the best that I can being here. I got my sweater on in the morning because it's cold, but it's going to be warm in the afternoon, so it's not so bad. It's not like it snowed while you were away, okay? That hasn't happened yet. So, so far, things are stable.
Well, I want to say it one more time because I'm kind of getting tired of answering the question. At some point, people are going to get used to it, but they just keep saying, why Florida? What's in Florida? Why would you go to Florida? I said, we've been taking the show on the road everywhere, and we called up the Dolphins and the Panthers. I said, I'm bringing my show to town. What could we do to work together? And they literally, both teams rolled out the red carpet. The Dolphins are the Miami Dolphins of the National Football League. They're a little different. They've been great, but the Panthers have just been whatever you need, ask. And they've delivered every single thing I've asked. It's unbelievable. Still a Golden Knights fan, but the scales are tipping. And I'll be coming back before you know it. And by the way, it's the Panthers and the Lightning tonight in Orlando, Florida, at Amway Arena, home of the Magic. By the way, listen, beware fake news, okay? I've said that for so many years. Beware fake news. James Alstra's watching, I believe, in Winnipeg, and he says, Urban Meyer just got fired. And I don't think that's true, unless... Did you see a notification anywhere, Clark?
No.
Or Darren?
My first thought, I mean, there's a notification from a half hour ago about the disarray that the Jaguars organization is in, and they're trying to figure this out, and where is Urban Meyer? There is a lot of disconnect right now between Urban Meyer and what's going on here. It's been said, people are talking around the league. Nobody doesn't travel home with their team after a win in the National Football League. Or after any game, not after a win, in any game in the National Football League. The coach didn't travel home with his team. That's weird. And there's all these other things that are happening with Urban Meyer that just is getting dissected a lot more in the NFL than it would have in the SEC, than it would have in college football, right? The Tim Tebow thing, the players weren't on board with that. They bring in Tim Tebow. That didn't fly over very well with a lot of the NFL people. But he did it. His old SEC buddies, that college football connection. A lot of those things that made him successful in college football aren't working in the NFL. But I haven't seen him being fired. No, I can't imagine that Urban Meyer's been fired unless the comment was literally, he just got fired. Like he literally just, the last straw. It hasn't happened yet, but... He's going to be fired, but I don't know.
No, I know. And James Zylstra, a viewer, I believe, in Winnipeg, I got to tell you, beware fake news, because I don't think that he's been fired yet. But that's not to say it's not coming, but I don't believe he was fired. And yes, there was a statement from the owner this morning. I'll get to that in a moment. But speaking of fake news, I did call Mar-a-Lago the other day, Darren, to inquire if I could go spend the day at Donald Trump's resort here on Palm Beach Island. Well, it's not the peninsula, whatever they call it. And they said, no, sir, you need to be a member of Mar-a-Lago. And I know that it runs, before Donald Trump was president, it was $100,000 a year to be a member at Mar-a-Lago. Now it's $200,000 a year, and you can't buy a day pass. So in case you ever wanted to go to Mar-a-Lago, you can't, unless you want to drop $200K. Anyways, it is Canada's daytime sports talk show, and we talk about, well, you wouldn't know it, I guess, by some of our topics, but we covered a lot an hour ago in the warm-up as far as Canadian sports topics go, and now we're talking about what are the topics at hand. And this, if you wouldn't mind grabbing your top 5 NFL list in a moment, I'll get you to read it when I'm done here. This from the Associated Press. Jacksonville Jaguars owner Shad Khan publicly reprimanded Urban Meyer Tuesday morning for the coach's inexcusable behavior at an Ohio bar over the weekend. I'll read it. I'll just read it, Clark. You don't need to put it up. Khan released a statement condemning Meyer's actions, which were captured on video and released on social media. I'll read the story, yeah. One shows a young woman dancing close to Meyer's lap as he sits on a bar stool, a clip that quickly went viral. A second, more damning video appears to show Meyer touching the woman's behind. The owner of the Jaguars said, I have addressed this matter with Urban. Specifics of our conversation will be held in confidence. What I will say is his conduct last weekend was inexcusable. I appreciate Urban's remorse, which I believe is sincere. Now he must regain our trust and respect. That will require a personal commitment from Urban to everyone who supports, represents, or plays for our team. I am confident he will deliver. Urban Meyer apologized Monday to his family, team, and the owner. He called a team meeting and vowed to own it. Now, having been around this game for a long time, sorry, there's a fly buzzing around me here. You can bring the moose back on. You know, here's the thing. You got some players that are going, damn, coach. Man, you still got game, coach. Some of them will be laughing about it. Some will be going, this guy's leading us? And I'm just shocked that at Urban Meyer, he's almost 60 years old, that this would even happen. Like I said to you, Darren, where do you get the time? You're the head coach of an NFL team. And as Jim Lang pointed out yesterday, a winless NFL team. If the Jaguars were 3-0, Urban Meyer could do whatever the hell he wanted. Mm-hmm. You think this ends in... Oh, by the way, Puck and Pigskin podcast writes in from Red Deer, and he says, are you going to Jimmy Johnson's place, Rod? I have his address. I went to Jimmy Johnson's place on the weekend. He wasn't home, but I went there. How about them Cowboys? Which I'd love to spend more time talking about that. Any more on this, or do you want to move on to the top 5 in the NFL? Your list, Darren, which is becoming harder and harder by the week instead of easier and easier. I know. The last thing on the Jaguars is just a mess, right? We'll see how it sorts out. Winning does solve a lot of problems, so if you pay attention to winning, get to work, that could solve a lot of these problems. Okay, NFL top 5. You're right. Extremely tough. You could throw these in a Yahtzee jar and let the dice fall. Arizona Cardinals, number 1. They're 4-0. They got the number 1 scoring offense, 35 points a game. Number 1 in yards, over 450 yards a game. They're number 1 until somebody tells me they're not now. Tampa Bay, I still have as number 2. Look, it was low scoring against the Patriots, but the rain was pouring. That was Bill Belichick's Super Bowl, and they still won. They're dealing with a ton of injuries, including now 3 starting cornerbacks. Jason Pierre-Paul out. Tampa still number 2 despite all of that. They got the number 1 run defense and the number 1 pass defense in the NFL. LA Chargers after last night are number 3. Justin Herbert, he's an NFL MVP candidate. Asante Samuel Jr., he was the Defensive Player of the Month. Their defense is showing up. They've got playmakers. Their offensive line is good. Good quarterback, number 3. The Buffalo Bills have moved up to number 4. They could be as high as number 1 on this list after 2 shutouts in 3 games. 3 or more turnovers in each of their last 3 games as well. They lead the NFL, the number 1 defense. But they've played 3 backup quarterbacks. They played against 3 backup quarterbacks. So they're still at number 4 for me. And your Dallas Cowboys are number 5 this week. 10 takeaways. How about them Cowboys? 10 takeaways on defense. They're number 2 in the NFL, number 1 in the NFC. They've given up a lot of passing yards, but they create turnovers. And, man, am I a fan of Trevon Diggs. I'm a fan. And don't forget, Zeke's running the ball pretty well now. And then, the Browns, the Rams, the Packers, the Ravens, the Chiefs, the Raiders, they're all still close. But that's my top 5 this week. We might have a new guy in Dallas that we call the playmaker. And he could go by the name Trevon Diggs. So good work, Moose. Thank you. By the way, we're going to have a strategic planning session, and I guess it'll be over Zoom because you're not with me here in South Florida, because I feel like it's not going to be Canada's daytime sports talk show much longer. Okay, so we really need to come up with what daytime sports talk show it is. Yeah. But we are going to get back around to what would typically be Canadian talk. And I just typed into my search engine for the Canadian Press, Winnipeg Jets. And here's something that came up. The list of the top training camp surprises, Moose, in the National Hockey League. So you want to talk about that for a second? Yeah. Players. This is players. So here's how it reads. The hole in the middle of the Washington Capitals lineup with Nicholas Backstrom out injured, looked like it was tailor-made for 2019 first-round pick Connor McMichael, who impressed last season as a rookie in the American Hockey League. The spot still might be his, but 2020 first-rounder Hendrix Laperriere, who's a year younger and came in with less fanfare, has been among the biggest training camp surprise around the NHL and could land a spot on the opening night roster. So remember that name, Hendrix Laperriere, with the Washington Capitals. Moving on, Seth Jarvis. We all know that name. Star, Winnipeg kid, whom I still think the Jets should have taken in the first round. Anyways, taken 9 spots ahead of Laperriere. Forward Seth Jarvis has stuck around at Carolina's camp longer than expected and is a candidate to play right away for the Hurricanes. He skated alongside Andrei Svechnikov, Sebastian Aho, and Nino Niederreiter, and gotten some power play looks in practice. So Seth Jarvis making the list. Shane Pinto of the Ottawa Senators. While the biggest storyline at Sens camp is the absence of unsigned restricted free agent forward Brady Tkachuk, the emergence of center Shane Pinto is a close second. He's been skating on Ottawa's second line between Tim Stützle and Connor Brown. Now here's where Winnipeg comes in. Evgeny Svechnikov. I'm starting to get a handle on this because I'm like, Svechnikov? I thought he was in Carolina. He's the brother of Carolina star Andrei Svechnikov. He's at Jens camp on a tryout and inching closer to getting a contract. The 24-year-old wasn't tendered a qualifying offer by Detroit after putting up 8 points in 21 games last season. And another one's Michael Bunting of the Toronto Maple Leafs. Lost in the Leafs star power of Austin Matthews, Mitch Marner, John Tavares, and Willie Nylander is their trial and error process to build around a core that has yet to make it past the first round of the playoffs. Gritty Nick Ritchie and skilled Andre Case are part of the new mix, but so too is Michael Bunting, who signed a $1.9 million 2-year contract as a free agent. So I know that poll that we had last week said that the vast majority of our viewers don't care about the NHL preseason. I don't actually believe that. Do you?
No. I think, when I read into that saying maybe they don't care about the games as much. This stuff, I think stuff they care about a lot.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, yeah, and the only game that I wrote down here for tonight in the NHL was Florida versus Tampa Bay. I don't even care what else is going on, but I think, we can spend some more time on the other teams. But that's what training camp's for. What did our friend, the voice of the Dallas Cowboys, preseason games don't count, but they matter.
Yeah.
You really liked that one, didn't you?
That's a great way to put it. They don't count, but they do matter. They matter for the players trying to make this team. They matter for guys trying to get reps in. And when you look at these position battles, there's a lot of guys, you mentioned PTOs, right? Professional tryouts, trying to earn contracts so they can have a place to play this year. So, yeah, they don't matter. We're not interested in the results. We don't really care, what happened in the game last night. But, these battles, position battles, we very much care who could be the next breakout star, who has a chance to make an impact. So that stuff I think the fans are really into.
So I'm going to bring in more of viewer comments here. We got the Prairie Mobile text line's full. I just opened it up. And our comment section's humming too. John in Manitoba writes in, he says, Winnipeg Blue Bombers equal Canada's team. We can talk about that and how great they're going. Pinks, one of our P1s, Priority One viewer, says, I got NHL preseason on in the man cave every night. Yeah, I know people care. I don't believe anybody that says that they don't care about NHL preseason. But we got CFL, what is this, week 10, I believe? We got some NHL preseason tonight. The American League wild card game goes tonight. 1-game showdown, Boston, New York Yankees. We had a lot to get into when we come back. And Dan Moriarty will join us as well, star of NHL Cool Shots. We're broadcasting live from the Pompano Beach House in Pompano Beach, Florida, on Game Plus TV, YouTube, and Facebook, live and 24-hour sports radio at rodpedersen.com.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Capital is Regina's trusted GMC Buick Cadillac dealership. Whether you're on the market for a new or certified pre-owned vehicle, we got you covered. And when it's time for service work, you can trust our factory-trained technicians who specialize in repairing any make or model. But don't take our word for it. Check out capitalgmc.ca to see how we roll and to learn what other customers are saying about working with us. Your dealership experience should be fun, easy, and transparent. And that's exactly what you'll get when you choose Capital GMC, Regina's trusted GMC Buick Cadillac dealership.
In the heat of the summer, familiar sound, feeling the air, it's the best thing anywhere. Just give me back my game. 'Cause I live for the drama, I live for the emotion. No one can take me down, bring me back my football.
BetRegal.net, exclusive sports gaming partner of the CFL.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. EDG, always delivering the best fan experience.
Don't rack your brain trying to source the equipment and materials you need for your business. Rockstar can operate your entire supply chain, from PO creation to expediting your shipments, all from our office. Leverage the buying power of the Rockstar buying group to not only save money and time, but also the headache. From gloves to glue, we can provide it for you. Find out more at rockstar.com.
Comfort has always been something we as people strive for. It means that the places we live and work, and that the people we care most about, are able to go about their lives focusing on the things that matter. Our focus at FlameTech has remained the same for more than 20 years. Now more than ever, we need each other to support our local businesses. As an industry leader in combustion services, we are proud to attend to the needs of our communities and support the local economy.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
RP Show continues live from beautiful South Florida. That is in beautiful Isla Morada in the Keys, where the Netflix series Bloodline was filmed. And boy, do they love talking about that show down there. Woo! The locals. By the way, just before we bring the Moose back in, I'm going to read a sports update. The baseball playoffs get underway at Boston's Fenway Park tonight as longtime rival Red Sox and New York Yankees face each other in the American League wildcard game. Yankees ace Garrett Cole is set to start against ex-Yankee Nathan Eovaldi. The teams both had their high and low points this year before finishing tied at 92 and 70. The winner will advance to play another division rival, the AL East champion Tampa Bay Rays. And there's bound to be a lot of nostalgia tonight in Boston as fans reminisce about the 1978 tiebreaker game between the Yankees and Red Sox, highlighted by Bucky Dent's 3-run homer in the 7th inning that propelled New York to a 5-4 win. Reggie Jackson, Carl Yastrzemski, and other stars played that afternoon, but what everyone remembers is Dent's fly ball over the Green Monster. By the way, Tim Leiper with us last hour of the San Francisco Giants coaching staff, and I'd like to say he agreed with me that the Blue Jays season was in a way disappointing in that they squandered a wonderful offensive year where they set a franchise record in home runs and led the American League. All the majors, as a matter of fact, in home runs. The Cardinals and Dodgers work out on the West Coast today, a day before they meet in the NL wildcard game. It'll be a marquee matchup. Longtime Cards ace Adam Wainwright goes against Dodgers midseason acquisition Max Scherzer. Philadelphia Flyers coach Alain Vigneault is denying accusations that he ever gave players drugs without doctors' consent. Former Flyers goalie Robin Lehner, in a series of tweets, says teams give players sedatives and anxiety pills without a doctor's consent. He referenced the Flyers and Vigneault specifically. NHL preseason action continues tonight with games in Toronto and Vancouver as part of the schedule. The Maple Leafs taking on the Montreal Canadiens. Later, the Canucks welcome the expansion Seattle Kraken to Vancouver's Rogers Arena. And even though the Florida Panthers listed Joe Thornton as wearing number 19 on their roster for tonight's game against the Tampa Bay Lightning in Orlando, Jumbo Joe will not play, we're told by the Panthers. He's expected to suit up for the first time on Thursday night. All right, if we can bring the Moose in. Here are some text messages, Moose, from 11 minutes ago.
Okay.
From Metal Shingle Guy, texted and said 11:11. Just putting that out there.
Okay.
From 11 minutes ago. Regarding Kenny Lawler, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers wide receiver charged with driving while impaired. He's been suspended by his own team for this Friday's game. Jim Wagner texting us on the Prairie Mobile text line. He says, morning RP show. Roddy, I'm with you. I'll preach second chances all day long. Anyone not willing to do so needs to have a look in the mirror and be real with themselves. Enjoy the day, all. I'll say it again. All the sanctimonious people wagging their finger better hope they don't screw up, because we're humans and we do make mistakes. It's what we do afterwards that matters. From the 204, Phil Thompson's his name. He says from the Manitoba, he says, the Blue Jays had a good season, but like Billy Bean and Moneyball said, none of that matters unless you win the last game. So I think a lot of people are coming around to our way of thinking, Moose. From the 780, Mandy in Edmonton, she says, is Duke Williams slated to play in the next Rider game? His touchdown sellies are something to look forward to. Just hope they don't cause the team a penalty like it did in Edmonton. And I appreciate the question from Mandy. I read in the story from the Canadian Press that Duke Williams will be subject to mandatory quarantine, CFL quarantine. So he will not be playing for the Saskatchewan Roughriders this Saturday. But what do you think, Darren, that does for a boost for the green and white as they line up against the Calgary Stampede? Well, he won't play this weekend, but maybe for the rest of the way, what does Duke Williams mean, do you think?
Yeah, it's a big addition, a big body, that pedigree. You know, he can be an elite receiver in the Canadian Football League. It opens up more space for your other weapons, too, like Swerve and Shaq Evans and the other guys on this football team, Braden Lenius. And I think the guy it hurts the most is a Jordan Williams-Lambert, who's had a disappointing season. He might be the one guy who's expendable, and Rider Nation needs to be okay, where you might end up losing a guy, a pretty good guy, or a guy that you like. But he adds that big play threat. He's a body that's tough to contain, a guy that the defense really has to be aware about. I think this is a really nice addition for the Riders. I really do.
And like we talked about last hour, this signing did not come about after the Riders losing to the Calgary Stampeders 23-17 on Saturday. They were talking to Duke Williams last week. He was looking for the best offer, it looked like. Maybe the Riders stepped up with the best signing bonus. There's some word that maybe that was the case. But the Riders were in on Duke Williams before Saturday's game. That's all I'm saying. Cody Fajardo coming out. And by the way, let's spend a minute on that for a second. I know that over half of our viewers, analytics say, are in America. and they tell me that they don't care for the CFL talk, but we are, for the time being, still Canada's daytime sports talk show, and the CFL is a thing, and they're playing now. And the CFL does air on ESPN networks. Cody Fajardo, did you watch the news conference with Saskatchewan's quarterback, the former Nevada Wolfpack star? Because there was so much furor over what he said after the loss in Calgary Saturday. I went back and watched. Did you watch it, or have you read the quotes?
I've read the quotes, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So he basically said, we don't have receivers capable of coming down with 50-50 balls. I'm tired of them landing on the turf or being intercepted when they throw those long balls. This was a frustrated quarterback speaking right after the game, and I'm sure if Cody had the opportunity to take some of those words back, he might. I mean, I'm that guy that if I'm on your team, I'm on your team forever. You can do no wrong. And Cody is that guy for me. So I don't see it maybe the way everybody else does. How about you? Did you think those comments were offside?
It's such a tough, fine line because these are your teammates, right? And you got to go back to work with them the next day, you know, and you got to get on the plane with them, or you got to get on the bus with them, and you have to practice with them. And you want these guys to be in your corner. But then I also understand right after a game, you're frustrated. You know, you're a couple of plays away from that being a really different football game. So I get it. I get the frustration. And you want to be honest. Cody's a guy who wants to give you a real honest answer, and he wants to be upfront, and he doesn't want to just hide behind cliche, you know, sports talk, right? Like sports speak, I guess, or player speak, coach speak. So it's a fine line. In that locker room, to some of those receivers, it might be taken offside. To some fans, they might not like it. Other fans will. They'll like the honesty. You know, it makes for good fodder on shows like this. You know, I think it's a little bit of a shot. Only Cody and the people in that locker room know where they stand. I'm sure he's talked to them about that and said, look, like, I'm just hoping we can get these going. I need you guys just to go a little harder, jump a little higher, run a little faster. You know what I mean? And maybe this is what they need. He knows how much he can push his guys. So we'll see where the Riders go down the stretch here, what these comments mean. If the receivers shut down on him and they stay not on the same page, then maybe it didn't go over so well. But who knows? Maybe they'll come back to work here and they're going to completely get on the same page.
Does he know how much he can push his guys? When you consider how young that receiver room is, Braden Lennius is in his second season. Mitch Picton's been around for a long time, but it's his first year starting. By the way, Joe Lozito says the cool Americans care about the CFL talk. It's football talk. It's pro football talk. But here's the thing with Cody. He's only in his second season as a starter. He's a winner. He piloted Saskatchewan to a 13-5 first-place record in his first season. This is what winners do. They go around the room and say, listen, I need more out of you. But guess what? It might hurt some people's feelings. And again, back to, is that where we are in society now, that you can't call somebody out? Now, the other thing is, because I didn't watch the game. I was jet skiing in the Florida Keys. I know you said don't tell people you didn't watch the game. I don't care. I was jet skiing in the Florida Keys. I didn't watch the game. So was Cody perfect? I saw he was 56% completion percentage. So I guess that's the other thing. Don't be pointing fingers until your yard's clean. Is Cody's yard clean? I don't know how good he was the other night. But the thing with Tom Brady and his now 7 Super Bowls, and I've done a lot of studying on Tom Brady. You've done more. You know, what we hear in the Super Bowl last year, Tom Brady was wearing out his Buccaneers teammates on offense, texting them 3-4 times a day to make sure they knew their assignments, to check in on what they were doing. Guess what? They won. Tom wasn't perfect. Tom missed some throws. I watched every game they played last year. But what Cody Fajardo's doing is being a winner. And I think the people whose feelings are hurt and are saying that he's being too harsh on his teammates, what do you want? This is what winners do. Does any of that resonate with you?
They push people when they don't want to be pushed. They challenge people when they don't want to be challenged. And, you know, you need to get outside of your comfort zone a little bit in order to accomplish something great. And that's what they're trying to do. It's what they're trying to do in Saskatchewan. It's what they're trying to do in every market across the Canadian Football League. And in order to, if you want to be average, then you can act average and you can do what everybody else does, right? If you want to be less than average, if you want to be special, you got to push yourself outside of your comfort zone and do things that make you uncomfortable, that maybe you don't like to do, for the benefit of where you want to be. So we'll see. Is this Cody doing that? I think it might be. We'll see how they respond.
Well, interesting comments from our viewers here. We've hit on it. We've hit on a hot button topic.
Yep.
Jeffrey Townend in Calgary says Cody should look in the mirror. The 3rd and 3 gamble in the first quarter was an overthrow on his part. From Don Ryback on YouTube, he says Fajardo's overthrows on the long balls are not 50-50 balls. From the General in Calgary, Fajardo threw his receivers under the bus. From John, some players may resent his comments. Well, John's a Bomber fan. I just mentioned the General in Calgary. These are fans of other teams. So I might say, mind your business and let Cody Fajardo run his locker room however he wants. Now, these fans are going to chime in, and that's CFL should be happy with the coverage and the talk. But I don't have a problem with what Cody Fajardo said at all. There was such a furor over it, I had to go back. I went to the Rough Riders website, and I watched the video of it. And I didn't think there was anything wrong with it at all. But you know my history is 34 years in the broadcast industry, Darren. I've been the guy to get into people's faces and say, we need more from you. And you know what I found out after I left some places? Some people didn't like that too much. They didn't like being pushed. So I'm a lot more careful with what, who I push these days. But
that's important.
Our crew doesn't mind.
Yeah. That's important. Know which buttons you can push, when you have to pull back, right? But pushing, too, also finds out if you've got the right people to go where you want to go, right? And you need to learn that. You can't wait till you're in the Super Bowl and realize, or in the Grey Cup and realize we don't have the right guy here, and that's when you decide to push and realize, oh, boy, we made a mistake here. I should have been pushing a long time ago to find out if they have what it takes to get over the top and win, And so it's happening early. We're seeing where things will go, but it's not going to be easy, and it's not going to be all sunshine and rainbows either. So he might upset some people.
Well,
there might be some real turmoil, but they got to get through it.
Dan Moriarty is joining us next. We're going to go to a break right away. But I'll say it again, coming up through this business, whether it be through my dad in the National Hockey League or people in the broadcast business, people said, hey, Rod, from you. And guess what? It hurt my feelings. But then I stepped up and gave more and won. Now people just don't like to have their feelings hurt. Anyways, Moose, I'll see you for overtime.
See you then.
Dan Moriarty joins us next. You know him. You love him. It's the RP Show, live from the Beach House in Pompano Beach, Florida. You're watching on the Game Plus television network across all 10 provinces and 31 states, including on TDS cable all across Florida. We're also streaming live on YouTube and 24-hour sports radio at rodpedersen.com.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
In the heat of the summer, familiar sounds, feel in the air, it's the best thing anywhere. Just give me back my game. 'Cause I live for the drama, I live for the emotion. No one can take me down, bring me back my football.
BetRegal.net, exclusive sports gaming partner of the CFL.
Capital is Regina's trusted Ford Lincoln dealership. Whether you're on the market for a new or pre-owned vehicle, we got you covered. And when it's time for service work, you can trust our factory-trained technicians who specialize in repairing any make or model. But don't take our word for it. Check out capitalfordlincoln.com to see how we roll and to learn about what other customers are saying about working with us. Your dealership experience should be fun, easy, and transparent. And that's what you get when you choose Capital Ford Lincoln, Regina's trusted Ford Lincoln dealership.
Prairie Mobile is your SaskTel authorized dealer. Whether you're looking for talk, text, or data, shared, unlimited, or business plans, Prairie Mobile will help you find the SaskTel wireless plan that's right for you. Visit us online at prairiemobile.com.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
Direct West provides us with stats and analytics, and it's amazing for us to look and see that, each year we're 10 to 20% higher on our Google leads. It's great to see the success that our locations are having. The Direct West app gives us an opportunity to be in one place for people to find any of our locations or our commodities. Without Direct West, we would have to be in multiple digital places. I would recommend Direct West. They're great to work with.
Smoky in the air, that's a lot of pine. Big time, big time, big time, big time.
Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition, and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Rough Riders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina.
Hey Rod Squad, now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to rodpedersenshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show, official RP Show gear at rodpedersenshop.com.
RP Show is live from gorgeous South Florida. Plenty of time left here, an hour two, which is brought to you by our friends at Core Grain, doing the right thing for your farm. NHL game night. Florida Panthers taking on the Tampa Bay Lightning tonight in Orlando, Florida. And you got to talk NHL with this guy, Dan Moriarty, joining us. He will forever be known as the host of NHL Cool Shots, but now he's with Burst Trainings, Communications and Public Speaking Company. He's joining us from the West Coast. How you doing, Danny boy?
Rod, I'm doing great because you and I are on the opposite coasts in the best weather in America. Both lucky, and I can see who you're pushing for tonight. You got your Florida hockey shirt on, and I think it's a good call. They may win the division. Yep.
I know. Tell me about it, right? And Dan, listen, before we go any further, we had a poll last week. Do you care about the NHL preseason? And over 70% of respondents said, no, they don't. And I'm like, you clearly aren't telling the truth here. You're pulling our leg. Dan, you and I care about the NHL preseason. I mean, what have you enjoyed about it so far?
I care about the preseason, Rod, because like other sports, what I love about preseason in general, you've got guys who are fighting for jobs. You got guys in juniors who may be going back to juniors. They can't go to the AHL. They're either going to stay in the NHL squad or they're going back. You got some guys who are trying to show their things as 18, 19 years old. And you find some guys as third, fourth liners who are trying to find a space in the bottom 6, bottom 9 forwards sometime. And as we saw last year with Tampa, last 2 years, guys in the bottom 6 can win cups for you. In fact, the whole third line from Tampa has now signed big deals around. So your stars always play? No. You get a feeling out? Yeah. Who's your backup goalie going to be? Who's your third string goalie going to be? And you got to find these things in the preseason. Rod, I think it's really important. I think it's also really important this year, more than past years, because COVID, shortened season, bubble, etc. We're getting them back into the 82-game normal schedule, and we drop the puck in a week from now because You need this, and I really believe it's so important for everybody this year, especially, to have this preseason and to get a feeling out, because you got to have it. See who's there, see who's not.
Dan, I got to ask you this. I was sitting in the press box at FLA Live Arena the other night and reading the game notes. Dallas Stars were there. Panthers won at 6-3, by the way, and it said 28th season of Florida Panthers hockey coming up. And let me ask you this. You've been doing NHL cool shots. You were doing it in the 90s. That was your wheelhouse. Were you down here much? Did you do much Panthers
wheelhouse.
coverage? And if so, what do you remember? What do you remember about it?
Well, just Florida in general. I mean, I remember being with Espo when they launched the Tampa Bay Lightning. I was there with him when that all happened. Go to there. Florida Panthers, I recall being there. I recall being a lot of the guys living in South Beach because that was the cool place to live. And I recall being in a building that was half full. And now, when you put a winner on the ice, and we're seeing it rot across the NHL, it's so great. I live in LA. I see what Gretzky did to Southern California, the Kings, and then then you go across the entire Sun Belt, Arizona, to Arena, Dallas Stars. Keep going. You have the best team right now in Florida. For me, right now is Florida Panthers, top to bottom. However, as a hockey aficionado, I believe Tampa Bay is going to go for the three-peat, which we don't see very often in any sport, and never mind in hockey. I haven't seen it in forever. So I'm on the bandwagon, Tampa, to do it again. But I recall in Florida, no one in the seat. I recall nobody there. I recall the guys loving it, but not getting the following. And now you see when you put a winning team on the ice, fans flock because, Rod, we're biased. It's the best sport to watch. Even if you've never skated in your entire life, you get the juice, you get the drug watching hockey live. That's why I'm so happy for Florida and the Panthers and what they're doing.
Oh, yeah. Well, I've been down here for a few weeks, and there are a lot of Panthers fans. Just not necessarily enough, but like you say, if they win, the barn would be full. Now, listen, I was listening off the start. You said the Panthers will win the division, but Tampa will win the Stanley Cup, a three-peat. That's what. So you're saying these two are going to go right down to the wire? Is that what you're telling me, Dan Moriarty?
What I saw last year in the playoffs, yes. And I see a Panther. You know what, Rod? It goes back to the same thing quite often in hockey. Go back. You have to learn how to lose. And so many.
Oh, we're losing. We lost Dan Moriarty. We're going to try and bring him back here. We're going to try and bring him. Let me know when we have Dan Moriarty. I was just enjoying the conversation. And if you have any questions for Dan Moriarty, by all means, fire them at us. I'm sorry, our comments are going crazy because people are going off about Brock Sunderland, the general manager of the Edmonton Elks, and his anti-vax statement or whatever. I'm not getting into that. Roger Yee, watching in Calgary, says, Rod, Tourism Florida should be paying you big bucks, as I'm sure all of us want to be where you are right now. How do you know that they're not paying us big bucks, Roger? Trust me, I know. Okay, we got Dan again. Okay, Dan, let's start this all over again. You were breaking up, so we'll start it again. Just at your last question, it was all fine up until that point, and that is Tampa and Florida battling out to the bitter end. You see that happening?
Yeah, I go back to what happened last year in the thing it was.
Oh, it's not happening. Dang. Anyway, we had it right off the start. It was going fine, and now this happens. Guys, do you want to take a break and come back with Dan, or what do you want to do back at Mission Control and get this figured out? Okay. We're going to take a break and get the guys to reset stuff because we're just getting into the guts. And I want to know his take on Death Valley of the National, which has been California. The Ducks, Kings, and Sharks missing the playoffs for multiple seasons in a row after so many years of that being Death Valley for all the visiting teams. We got a lot to unpack with Dan Moriarty. We'll get to it when we come back. You're watching the RP Show live from the Beach House in Pompano Beach, Florida, on Game Plus TV. YouTube Live, and 24-hour sports radio at rodpedersen.com.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
Lot of sun, smoky in the air, that's a lot of pine. Big time, big time, big time, big time.
Don't rack your brain trying to source the equipment and materials you need for your business. Rockstar can operate your entire supply chain from PO creation to expediting your shipments, all from our office. Leverage the buying power of the Rockstar buying group to not only save money and time, but also the headache. From gloves to glue, we can provide it for you. Find out more at rockstar.com.
Safety is a primary pillar at Core Grade. We have core certification. Our workers are following best practices in the industry for safety. We always want to make sure that our contractors, us here at the shop, and our customers can come to work and go home at the end of every day. Give Core Grade Systems a call today.
Comfort has always been something we as people strive for. It means that the places we live and work, and that the people we care most about, are able to go about their lives focusing on the things that matter. Our focus at FlameTech has remained the same for more than 20 years. Now more than ever, we need each other to support our local businesses. As an industry leader in combustion services, we are proud to attend to the needs of our communities and support the local economy.
Prairie Mobile is your SaskTel authorized dealer. Whether you're looking for talk, text, or data, shared, unlimited, or business plans, Prairie Mobile will help you find the SaskTel wireless plan that's right for you. Visit us online at prairiemobile.com.
Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll treat you right.
People donate blood for moments like this.
But there are lots of reasons why Canada's Lifeline needs donors every day.
Like the fact that someone with leukemia can need up to 8 units of blood a week.
Or that donated blood lasts no longer than 42 days.
Or to help new moms and babies, like Henry.
There's lots of reasons to donate blood. That's why we need donors every day.
The need for blood is constant. Join Toyota and our Toyota dealers in supporting Canada's Lifeline.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
It's overtime, and we are live from South Florida. Overtime is brought to you by the Four Seasons Sports Palace, your home for the UFC, and the Seattle Kraken Fan Club. And producer Clark tells me that Dan Moriarty has switched devices. We've got a better connection with him from Burst Trainings. Yeah, it's $1 million. Dan, are we starting this all over again? What the heck?
Whatever you want, Rod. I'm here. I'm yours. I can talk hockey 24/7. Doesn't really matter. I'm in, man.
Well, listen, we haven't hit California yet, and we're going to get to your area in a minute. But for a second, we're going to talk about my coast over here in Florida, and that's the Panthers and Tampa Bay Lightning. You picked the Panthers to win the division, but the Lightning to win the Stanley Cup. Some would think that's a bit of a juxtaposition. I'm going to need you to explain that for us, if you don't mind.
Because I'll go back to what I was saying before we got cut off there, Rod. In the NHL, teams have to learn how to lose before they learn how to win. And Tampa is part and parcel of that. That's what they did, and then they became the juggernaut that they are, which is why I believe when you have the best goalie in the NHL, the best defenseman in the NHL, possibly the best player up front or a couple players up front in the NHL, when you fill in that bottom six forwards, you have the leadership and maybe the best coach in the NHL. You have the team that knows how to get to a certain point in the season. I believe the Panthers will take the next step in their run at Tampa, and as I said, they will win the division this year. Joel Quenneville has a proven winner. Are all the players on that roster? Are they prepared to go through what you have to go through, learn how to go through to win it all? And that's where I go back to. I believe it's going to be Tampa again. Because of that, part of me thinks the window for Vegas is going to be closing soon because they're all in now. And in the West, I believe that that's a team that should be in the Stanley Cup Finals. And I'd like to see Vegas pull through this. Just the Tampa to me is the team that is primed, and it's prime, Rod, for us as fans to see someone pull off a three-peat. And what an awkward three-peat. The bubble, shortened season, now 82-game schedule. That's what I think is going to be special about this team, and is going to pull them through. And again, I go back to their coach. Their coach is maybe the best in the NHL, as you guys know now. He's your national coach.
Yeah, who would believe that this could be the best rivalry in the National Hockey League? But I was reading the game notes the other night. Joel Quenneville, second winningest coach in NHL history. I guess I needed to be smacked in the face with that to remember how good of a coach this guy is. But he's in Florida, and he just doesn't get the pub, which is hard to believe, and that's why the Panthers have been so welcoming to us, opening their doors to us to do the show down here. You had a point on cue?
Agreed. And think about where Joel came from, Chicago. Rod, I look at the Blackhawks as being this dark horse this season because of what he put in place before he ended up not being there any longer. And I see Jonathan Taves back, healthy season, hopefully. You got Pat Kane, and don't ever doubt a hurt or ego bruised Fleury in net. I'm telling you, Chicago's going to be a dark horse, in my opinion, because of the leadership you have in that locker room. From Taves, one of the best captains in the NHL, from Hall of Famer, of course, Pat Kane, to Fleury, the older guys. They're going to carry this young team on. And that's your dark horse for me. And it all goes back, again, to part what Joel Quenneville put into that team.
Sore subject here, Marc-Andre Fleury. 36 saves last night in a 6-4 Blackhawks win over the Detroit Red Wings. I'm still a Golden Knights fan for now, Dan, but it's changing. Anyways, I said that I would ask you about California. Yeah, go ahead. What did you have?
Well, don't and when you say, and I'm with the Golden Knights as well, I could be on that bandwagon. Again, I like what their owner has said. He wants the title within 5-6 years. That's great. But again, Fleury being pushed away, and Leonard now being the guy in net. We all know what he's been doing lately on Twitter without the PA behind him. You know, we talk about how to learn how to win when you're losing. It's the same thing in the locker room. What's the chemistry like in the locker room? How is that going to be received when you get back in that locker room? Could that one thing with the goalie Leonard not being Fleury in that locker room now be a bone of contention? Maybe pull some of the guys apart and hurt some of the chemistry. That's gonna be a very delicate walk for me in the Vegas locker room. Now to California, go ahead, man. Do we play hockey out here?
Yeah, well, of course. But hey, the thing with the Golden Knights is that to me is a bit of the elephant in the room, but because their general manager is a longtime friend of mine, Kelly McCrimmon, I'm just deferring that he knows what he's doing, but I have the same fears that you just brought up as a Golden Knights fan, did they stay with the right goalie? To California, road teams used to go in there and get crushed by the Kings and the Ducks and the Sharks routinely. Now that hasn't happened for a few years. They've missed the playoffs, all of them, in back-to-back years. Who's going to be the first team to come back to prominence, Stan, out of that group?
No doubt, in my mind, it's going to be the revamped LA Kings. And not because I live in LA, not because I worked for them for a season. I just feel what Rob Blake has done with the offseason signings, what he has as far as his star leadership, from his captain to Doughty, etc., to the goalie now, the new young goalie pushing the older Hall of Famer goalie. And what he's done with the draft picks, the youth, there's a great mix there of youth, energy, and old guard winning. And I believe LA is the team right now primed to be the first one back. In my opinion, Anaheim is behind them. And then beyond them is the San Jose Sharks, who for a few years I was doing voiceover for them. So I was on that bandwagon. I was working with them and for them. And I hate to see what's happening there. Maybe one of the biggest, nicest stories this early season will be another nice thing for Patty Marleau if he doesn't sign anyplace else. I'm not sure. I haven't read if he signed in the past couple of days. But if he does, if he retires, that may be the nicest story coming out of the Bay Area, because the hockey just isn't going to be there for a little while. And Doug Wilson has his hands full with a lot of contracts that have to be negotiated, moved around, et cetera. It's a tough one. They had their window. They went for it. They lost to Pittsburgh in the finals. I admire them for going all in. And now what do you do? Now you got to take a few steps back to go forward again. And they have some contracts that they're not going to be able to move right away.
Man, that's a lot. And by the way, go Kings. Todd McClellan, their head coach, pride of Melville, Saskatchewan. As far as San Jose goes, it's all on Doug Wilson. He's been there long enough. But I get what you're saying. And now Seattle's played some games. They got Vegas on opening night in Vegas. How excited are you to watch the Seattle team this year, Dan? And do you think they make the playoffs in year one?
They don't make the playoffs in year one. The only reason they might is because the Pacific Division is so lacking, as we just discussed. The Sharks, the Kings, the Ducks. There may be a place for them. I don't think they make the playoffs in the West, and that's okay by me. They haven't built the team the same way that Vegas was built all in right away. However, what they're doing in Seattle is going to be magical. What they're doing in Seattle, you've got Ron Francis, who's a Hall of Fame player, maybe a Hall of Fame GM someday. I just like what they're doing. I like what they're doing from the top down, from the ownership all the way down, and to the fans, and how they've included them in everything they're doing. And players are going to want to be there. They're going to want to play in that arena. And have you seen the practice rink? My God, it's amazing what they've done there. I just like everything about Seattle. I like everything about the sports of that part of our country. And I love the fact that the NHL now has this whole great rivalry going from Vancouver to Seattle to San Jose to LA to Anaheim down to Arizona. The West Coast is great. Don't be surprised if in the not near future somebody ends up in Portland. Why not?
Ooh, wow. They got the arena sitting there. It's a wonderful city, the Rose City. I've been there many times. Yeah.
But the Quebec fans may hate me for saying that. Sorry, Quebec. I didn't mean to say that to you out loud.
Well, it's not necessarily Quebec's fault that they're not going to get a team, but they're not going to get a team. Dan, we have a minute. Tell people about Burst Trainings, what they need to know.
Burst Training, it's a job I've been doing for the past 10 years. I began my own company. I am a communication, public speaking coach. I work around North America and the world, working with executives, their teams, their clients, their vendors, on how to communicate your story better so that you are memorable and you make a difference. And it's what I do. It's content that I've created with a few partners, and we are blowing up right now. We launched during COVID because we had to, and it's been a blast. Thank you for asking about that, Rod. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Dan. Catch you next time. Everybody, see you
Enjoy
tomorrow
Florida.
here at noon Eastern on Game Plus TV.
We don't know what we're doing.